Well, thank you for inviting me to do this presentation on this new technology, personal rapid transit, PRT we call it. And I'm representing Loopworks. We're the company that's creating a smart transit system for the Milpitas metro area around the BART transit hub and the Great Mall and the high density housing has been built there and is still being built there. And what PRT is basically a vehicle that is about the size of the passenger compartment for a medium-sized car. We've chopped off the front motor area, the hood, and the trunk area in the back, and encourage people to sit in the back seat, and because the front seats are kind of flip up, and you need to flip them down to actually use them, and they're facing backwards. So it's kind of like having, the back seat, but no front seat, which is real convenient if you've got a baby stroller, for example. You can just roll that right in there and take it along with you inside this cab. Likewise for bicycles, whether they're electric or not, and any baggage that you might want to take with you. Now, in a lot of ways, you can think of PRT as a horizontal elevator, because like an elevator, you just go to where the elevator shaft is. In this case, it would be a PRT station. You walk right in, select your destination, and you're off on a nonstop trip, actually, because you're not sharing this elevator with other people, just yourself there, and whoever you brought with you, in this case, a couple of others. And this, you could just walk right in because the hood of the vehicle actually rolls back. Now let's go back to this, what we've call a cabin, but I just reduce it down to the word cab and say it's both this passenger compartment and the motive vehicle, what technically is called a bogie down below. It's got the wheels, the stop and go technology, and the smarts is pretty much all down there. Let's go on to the next slide. What people want is what PRT does. Like the automobile, it's kind of always there for you when it's needed. It's a personal cab, so it's safe, it's clean, convenient. Unlike a car, however, anyone can use it. And that's because it's so easy to use. You just get in, select your destination, and go, like an elevator. And it's on time all the time, quick and nonstop, due to it being on an elevated guideway. As you can see here, we can take a bicycle along or even accommodate disabled. So what is PRT? It's a light electric vehicle, and the emphasis on the light is that, for example, a Camry, this year's model Camry weighs around 3,000 pounds. The cab and the bogie, the cabin and the bogie combined on one of these PRT cabs weighs about 1,000 pounds, or 1/3 the weight of a regular car. So it's a light electric vehicle. We're going to call these cabs. They're running on an elevated guideway with offline stations, which allows the cabs to run right past them without stopping, providing for a nonstop travel. And because it's computer controlled, we get 24/7 service to the 12 stations that we've incorporated in the original design, this dual loop system that we're planning on building. And that's going to make it easy to get to and from the BART Transit Center and all the transit options that exist there. Now, if we had more time, I'd play this 3-minute video. I encourage you to go to milpitasprt.com. There on the home page is an opportunity to look at the video, and also a link to a number of other PRT videos that talk about the technology and how it works and the benefits of it. This is the dual loop system that we plan on building here in Milpitas. And as you can see down here at the bottom is this small loop. We're going to start with its 5 stations and the guideway between these stations. Of course, we'll have one here at the BART Transit Center. Once that proves itself, then we're going to add the second loop and a second PRT station there that will add another 6 stations on a larger loop to serve an area that is about 1.4 square miles. In area. And based on some estimates, we're looking at over 7,000 trips per day, PRT trips being used by the people in that area. Now, here's a very key thing about PRT that is missing from a lot of conversations, and that is that PRT can induce a ridership boom for the existing transit. As you're probably aware, transit captures roughly 5% or less of the trips on any given day. And we're looking at actually doubling that if we use Prague as the model, because you can see here we have a 1x. By adding PRT, we get about 2x people using public transit. Now, we may see something more like Daventry, because they're roughly 4 to 5% of the trips that are taken currently. They're anticipating that is going to go up about 5-fold. Now, in Koper, and I have no idea exactly where they got these numbers, but they're looking at a 15-fold increase in the use of transit simply by adding a PRT system to the mix. So we don't know what exactly is going to be happening with the LRT, the BART, and the bus transit in that area, but we do expect at least a doubling. And we will find out for certain, because we're going to keep track of the numbers both before and after the implementation of the PRT system to see just how much the ridership did boom. When I looked at the Transportation Committee's mission, it was as though it had been written with PRT in mind, because it's to promote the most cost-effective, equitable, least polluting, and least sprawl-inducing transportation system possible. Furthermore, PRT goes on to address the imbalance by diverting money from the automotive sector to the PRT publicly owned transit system that is very supportive of cyclists, pedestrians, and, as we just saw, mass transit. The project status, we've accomplished a lot. 1 through 7, the business plan is been written. We've gotten the bylaws approved. The website is up and running. We've been incorporated with the state. We've got our first grant application submitted. And we've completed recruitment of our president, secretary, and treasurer. We're currently enrolling members. And the last area where we've been not as successful, but it may turn out to be good in the long run. The Milpitas City Council has been reluctant to support the project. So we were going out and building support in the community. And I think that that is going to pay off for the project and the council ultimately. We're at the Q&A session. These are questions that are often asked. How quick is it? Average of 30 miles per hour, which means that starting at any station in the system, you can get to any other station in less than 6 minutes. We anticipate a 5 to 7 year horizon, although with any luck, we might be able to do it in 4. The user fare, 0, free. And if you're wondering how we're ever going to be financing all of this, please go to the financing section on our website to learn more about how that's happening. Who owns it? LoopWorks will actually be the owner, not any transit agency or government agency or for-profit company. It is a nonprofit mutual benefit corporation, which means that the governance of the system is going to be under community control. And finally, moving forward, you have already, as a club, written an extraordinary, highly supportive letter to the City Council. And I've posted that on the website, so you can take a look at that there. We would also appreciate you lobbying any of the council members that you have endorsed for election in the past. Your voice would probably be one that they would be interested in listening to. Also, there's a possibility of becoming a community member. Now, most folks on here don't live in Milpitas and get the deeply discounted rate of $100. But if you do have the $1,000 and the interest in supporting this project, I'm sure that the board would welcome you aboard as a member. Now, a foundation member threshold is at 60,000. And although I don't imagine anyone here is going to be pulling out their checkbook to write that kind of money, you may be part of a foundation, or you may know someone who is part of a foundation that writes those kind of checks. And in which case, please let them know that this project is looking for funding, and it is an incredible return on investment. Invite them to check it out. And they can do that at milpetasprt.com. Here's our other contact information. And let's make Sierrans proud. I anticipate that your early support of this project will pay handsomely in bragging rights as we move forward on the project. And I'm going to leave it at that. And we're going to stop the video and stop the share and wonder, oh, wait a minute, I didn't stop the record. Oh,